The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
There's a girl, she's a star, she's got style, Steffi Star, you see her face around the town, she's popular, Steffi Star.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Weinstein.
And I'm Meredith Keach.
And this is The Show
Woo-hoo!
with Weinstein Keach.
With Weinstein Keach.
Woo!
And we have one of my favorite human beings on the planet, Liz Bornstein.
Yay, Liz.
Yay. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
This is
Thanks
so
for
exciting. I
joining
don't
us.
know anything about you, Liz.
All right.
So first, can you pronounce your first name?
So it's pronounced Elizabeth, but it's spelled differently. So
Right.
I kind of pick my battles on when and how that needs to be correct.
Are you named after someone?
I am indeed.
See, in the Jewish religion, you name your child after someone dead.
Yes.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
So I am named after my grandfather, Irvin. So my parents were
Oh.
set with an I name. And I think they threw the S in for good measure. So it's
Yeah.
Elizabeth, but it's ILIS at the beginning instead of ELIZ.
Yeah.
And then I just go by Liz and I spell it LIZ, which also confuses people because I don't spell it LIS.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly
Pick your
confused.
battles.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Names are a big thing.
They are a big thing.
They have meaning.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When I was picking the names for my kids, it was
It is hard.
it's important, in my opinion.
I think I'm also named after my grandmother,
Mhm.
Sophie.
There you go.
Oh.
Yes.
You were a generation removed from that being a very cool name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
My mother was thinking of naming me Susie. And my last name at the time
Which
was
is her
Quint.
generation.
Right.
Yeah.
My last name at the time was Quint, so I would have been Susie Q. So then she decided that wasn't a very good idea. So then she came up with Stephanie Ann, A-N-N.
Mhm.
There's so many A-N-Ns out there with a middle name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alexa, when she usually asks middle name, she'll go Anne or Marie. And most of
Right.
the time, it's it.
It's usually Marie. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
names are important.
They are.
So, Liz, I was telling Steph that you're a professor
Mhm.
and that you're a lawyer,
Mhm.
and that most recently I know that you
So
were teaching
shabby.
something about nonprofits.
Mhm.
And because I know you personally, not
Mhm.
professionally.
That is true.
Well,
So-
hold up.
Yeah.
Where are you a professor?
So I'm a professor right now at Bryant University, which is in Smithfield, Rhode Island, outside of Providence.
Oh, okay.
Business school.
Nice.
Yes, they would want me to clarify that though it has a tradition of
Ah.
a strong college of business, we
Yes.
in fact have a college of arts and sciences and
Ah.
a school of health and behavioral science as
Right.
well.
I was wondering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
Okay.
duty done.
That's good to know.
Bryant
Yes.
University.
Yes.
Mm.
Bryant
So there are
University.
some graduate programs there,
Got it.
primarily business focused, but also in other disciplines.
Ah, got it.
Now I feel like I should take a graduate program.
I'll do it with you.
Let's do it.
Okay.
All right, we'll call Bryant.
We can audit. You can still audit classes today, right?
Possibly. I think that is often offered through your own alma mater as a
Okay.
service to alums.
Okay. I did it through Stonehill, so I wonder.
I don't know.
Could
what
be.
you're
So
talking about.
auditing means you just attend a class. You don't have to do coursework.
Oh.
You're just there to just learn and listen to
Really?
the professor and engage. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You still cost money, but I'm not looking for credits.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just looking to learn. And so it's a way for the school to make money if they have room in the classroom. It's not taxing on the professor because they're not reading papers or grading exams. And so the class I took, don't you want to know?
Of course we want to know.
Yeah.
It was about death.
Oh.
Hmm.
Meredith enjoys death.
It was
She
all
wants to
about
be prepared.
Right.
Yeah, death and process, sort of like having the death doula on. We had a death doula.
Mhm.
She
Who-
was amazing.
Like mind-blowing because they were conversations about death that we don't have. Right?
Correct.
What's your plan? What would you like? What would you not like? Mapping out the plan.
Right. Imagine if that is all set and
Yeah.
nobody has to wonder.
Nobody
Well,
has to win.
and if you get to hear all the nice things people say about you while you're alive, there's been a
Correct.
movement towards
Yeah.
that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I love that.
it was actually really great. And it was run by, the class was run by someone who, at the time, this was many years ago, but ran Old Colony Hospice, right?
Mhm.
Because they're obviously very close to death and
Mhm.
comfortable with conversations about it.
Yeah.
But interestingly, he wouldn't touch on suicide
Mm.
because he said that's a class in and of itself. That's a
I can
whole semester
imagine.
worth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we're just going to stay on this.
Mhm.
But it was pretty cool auditing a class. We should look.
Interesting.
You can do a lot of it online now too,
Oh.
right? So you
Right.
have access to it
Right.
that way instead of showing up in a lecture hall.
Yeah, with
You
all
know,
those younger
I-
kids.
I'm-
Meredith enjoys the younger kids.
I'm a
Mhm.
little embarrassed to say I've only taken a couple of online classes just for my CEU,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't love it.
No, a lot of people don't. Like one of the interesting things at Bryant post-pandemic, so like 21, 22, when we're really more or less back to normal. So
Yeah.
we don't have like staggered in-person hybrid classes. I was surprised by the number of college students who had that self-awareness to say like, I thought I was really going to like online
Yeah.
learning, but I found that I like it better and I do better in a classroom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that in-person experience for me, because
Attention span.
it just
Boredom.
disconnects. Yeah, it just disconnects. I had to struggle last night. I did an orientation. So my son, you were asking about my son, so he's going to Severian, and it was the second parent orientation, and they did, I have to say, phenomenal job. You
Mhm.
went from, you had movement, which was good to keep you going, and engaging with different teachers to share different aspects of the school to impart what you need to know. And even at that, it never used to be the way for me, but I swear it's social media and having phones. It's like my brain just darts and in and out, and immediately like you got to get back in touch and keep your phone in your pocket and don't pull it out, to avoid those distractions. But you put me in an online class, man,
Right?
not
Yeah.
having someone right here. I used to have to put myself up front too,
Mhm.
which I usually do if we're doing a CEU,
Right.
because I'll start writing notes.
Can you
and-
put it on pause?
It depends on how it's set up. So some
Oh,
are sort
okay.
of live webinars where you have to tune in, but some are pre-recorded.
That would be better for me if it were live.
Mm,
So do you do live classes?
not at all.
No. Okay.
You mean me
Yes,
personally?
you personally.
No.
So you're strictly in-class professor.
Oh, are you talking about me like professionally what
Yes,
I teach?
yeah.
Yes. I thought you meant like as
Yeah.
a person, do
Oh,
I
got it.
engage these?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of my classes are in person.
Okay.
And Bryant's online programs are graduate based. So
Okay.
when that is offered, it is for the executive or the graduate level,
Oh, okay.
not the undergraduate
Oh,
level.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what are you teaching this upcoming semester?
So I teach law classes. So as you mentioned, I'm a lawyer, and schools that have an accredited college of business have required law courses. So if you ever have students going to college and looking for exposure to law, it usually comes in two ways. One would be maybe, an elective through the political science department, and the other would be through their degree in business, finance, accounting, business administration. So a couple of the classes are these required classes. It's called the Legal Environment of Business, but it's really like an intro to law class for students getting a business major. So I joke, it's like, this is your first year of law school, but we're going to do it in a week. Like we would do a semester on Torch.
Oh.
Well, I'll give you an overview in a week. So they really do like a touch on a bunch of different topics. And then the other course I'm teaching is civil rights and civil liberties. So that's like a constitutional law class.
Oh,
Meredith, you would love that.
I would love all of this.
Yes,
I'm
I
just
would.
saying to myself, I feel like I should go back to school.
I feel like you
I
should.
would love it.
I feel like you should be an attorney.
I think it would cost me a lot of money and I wouldn't have a good ROI though.
Oh.
I think you can satisfy your desire to be educated without spending a lot of money.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
I think, again, like the online resources and
Yeah.
webinars and talks that are out there are great. I often use a lot of YouTube-based clips for my students to explain concepts. And one is a platform called Legal U, which is designed for everyday people just to explain legal concepts. Like, why are there state versus federal courts? And what's the difference between civil and criminal cases? And so there are all of these great, like 2 to 5 minute videos.
I think we need to
Can
explore.
Meredith get her full law degree online? By just taking online courses.
I
never
suppose
attending.
it's possible, but I don't recommend it.
Meredith.
This is not something I need to add to my plate.
Why? I really feel like you should investigate this further.
Although I have said to myself many a times when when you're mapping out I assume everybody does, but map out the next kind of mentally the next couple of my months. I'm sure you do, especially as a teacher. And I say, you know what? You got to time block some time to just go over to the Ames Free Library for 2 hours once a week. And I've yet to do it.
Well, I think you're right about that. Like stuff like that doesn't happen for me unless I literally put it on my calendar.
Yeah.
Like if I
Right.
need to write something or I need to do something, I will block it off. So like that hour on Friday, I am doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the Ames Free Library is such a magical little place to go and be.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been in there in a while?
No.
It's really stunning. And in the winter, they have a TV screen down the end when you walk in the front doors and look left. They have a big TV screen with a grate over it with a fire in the background and these big wingback chairs so you can just sit there.
Lovely.
Ross Moscato's usually sitting down there when I've been
I
down
think
there.
they won Best Small Library in the U.S.
They did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a,
Yeah.
they're doing something to the facade out front too.
Oh,
I
are
saw
they?
that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's. What is it?
Fixing the roof.
Oh, really? With
Oh.
all that scaffolding?
Yeah.
Maybe because it's
Well, that's not
Yeah, roofs
exciting.
everywhere.
What about behind the library?
gorgeous.
So cute.
That is
Oh.
so beautiful.
I so want to have a party in the Queesick Gardens, and I never have. I don't really have a reason to have a party, but I'd like to.
You'll have some graduations coming up.
Right. And we can host them there.
There
Oh,
you
there
go.
you go.
Yeah. It's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. The town did a beautiful job. Town's people.
Yep.
And I don't know if the town maintains it or not. Can't remember. Or if the library pays for the landscaping.
Wait,
there.
what's it called behind the library? Is that it's not called Queesick Gardens, is it? That's to the side.
I think Queesick Gardens is
Adam,
over
what
the
is it?
side.
It's the Queesick Gardens, and it's the Queesick House.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
There was a big hullabaloo there for a bit because
Remember that was all
Bob
like
Taylor was trying to sell land overlooking those gardens, and people had a fit.
yeah.
I don't think I remember that part. But I do remember the excitement when people cleared out the back of it and they're like,
Yes.
look what's back here.
Yeah.
We never knew.
Yeah.
Yes, I was doing some stints for ECAT at the time. And we did a program from there. I was so nervous. I'm like, my name is Stephanie. I forgot. When I was signing off, I forgot my name. I was so nervous. But I interviewed a lot of people and I did some research on it. It was fascinating that some actors had come from New York and had performed there.
I was not aware of that.
Yes,
In the gardens?
correct.
Oh, I love it. Well, Mermaid was filmed back there on Bob Taylor's land,
Yes.
which is pretty cool.
Yep. Cher and
Wow.
yeah.
I don't know if Moonstruck had something else. There's been a few movies filmed. Ghostbusters was
And he
back
still
there.
had some of the structures on
Yeah.
his property.
Yeah, they were
from
made
the
out
movie.
of foam.
Yeah. Yep.
It's pretty wild.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
styrofoam.
so cool.
I think that should be, like a Secret Tours of Easton.
Right?
type
Yeah.
of
George Carlin.
activity.
He was one of the actors that performed at the Secret Garden, at the Queesick Garden.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's
there was
amazing.
others, but I can't remember.
Well, it was
Yeah.
a while ago.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Anyway, do you want a complaint session?
I don't really have complaints today because I've been on a roll. Well, okay, I do have my plantar fasciitis. Am I saying it right?
Yes, I believe so.
I mean, it is really dragging me down. I sleep with a boot. I have some other thing that
A
pulls my.
boot?
Yes, I have like a mobilizing boot because you have to sleep with your foot up.
Yeah.
Then I bought some other contraption yesterday that pulls your
The
toes.
sock. Yeah.
And I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, ah! So I had to take that off. And then, believe it or not, I can only wear heels
Interesting.
because of the arch. I bought all kinds of insoles, so I have that complaint.
Okay.
It's kind of really, it is dragging me down because I used to walk a couple miles every morning and I can't do that.
It's so frustrating when your body decides not to
Yeah.
do what you expect it to do.
Right. It's like, what is up?
Then you have to change course.
Right.
That's what I'm doing right now.
But you're supposed to stay off of your foot.
Which is also super hard.
Like,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do?
Ride a
am I supposed
bike.
Am I supposed to get crutches?
No,
ride a bike.
Ride a bike. Go for a swim.
You know what, Meredith?
Just saying.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Where am I going swimming?
Listen, I've been dealing with this. Liz has been dealing with it for a while.
Indeed.
Mine. Well, all of a sudden, my knee. I don't know.
Oh,
think
right.
I told
you have the knee.
I have multiple tears in my ligaments in my knee. No idea where it came from.
Oh.
Maybe from skiing last winter, but then from walking or exercise, all of a sudden my knee stopped bending. It was like, you got to take a break. And so I went to the doctor to say, why is my knee not bending? It wasn't even massive pain. And they're like, oh, you have a tear in this ligament and that ligament, and your meniscus.
Will you be getting surgery?
No, that's
It
when I
heals on
learned
itself?
diagnose and ghost. I said, well, what do I do? They said, well, we'll give you a shot, and it doesn't fix it. It'll just tell the muscles to chill out, and then go do some PT.
Oh, have you done PT? I don't
Yeah.
think you have.
Weekly.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I went yesterday.
Oh.
And that's it.
What about you, Liz? What complaints do you have? We love to complain.
So normally I would have plenty, but I would say I've had a good summer, a good like mental reset on everything.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So I'm staying away from the complaining, or I'm reframing.
Oh,
How about
that's-
that?
I
So
love
you didn't
that.
teach this summer.
No, I don't teach in the summer.
That's good.
Ah,
Yeah.
so
It's good
great.
for me.
Yeah.
It's just never been part of how I've experienced summers as a kid or an adult.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, I mean, so I guess the reason why I'm saying it is not because, oh, well, it was me, my knee. I can't stop moving. I have to. For my mental and physical.
Right.
And especially the older I get, the more I've learned, like, oh, I got to get up and move. And so you just have to move differently. I mean, Marty's had that experience, right? He gets so bummed out, but you just have to move differently.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Plantar fasciitis is brutal. I had it when I ran the marathon. You must have had it before, did you?
I'm sure I've had
Yeah.
bouts of it. Nothing maybe as debilitating as what you're
Yeah.
describing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, and those couple days too, where you're thinking, okay, can't do plan A.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And you get mad
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
And it depends on what's holding you back, right? How long it takes you to be like, all right, well, what is my plan B? Like, what can I do?
Right.
You know, that
Right.
still feels somewhat enjoyable, even if it's not what you intended
Right.
to do.
Well, and especially too, you get in a habit and it's feeling good. And this is my healthy routine, right? You've been walking for
Right.
a while now. It's fantastic. And then to have your body say, actually, I want you to change direction because this is too much. Like,
Right.
who would have thought walking was too much? I had the same experience. Like, I'm walking. This is what we do.
Well, it takes time to change habits too.
Right.
Takes time.
Right? Like
Right.
you know what you want to do when you want to do it. And
Yeah.
time is going to take you to say, well, what else could I do? Where could I do it? When
Right.
can I do it?
Right.
Is there anyone
Right.
to do it with? Does it cost money?
Yes.
Right? Like
Right.
if you get to 4 steps in there, I mean, good for you. But most people are like, forget it.
Yeah.
You know, a
I mean,
couple steps
honestly, I
earlier.
could jump on my trampoline.
Yeah.
Now my thing with that is the breast area,
Mm.
Yeah. I couldn't do a trampoline. It would be
right?
too
So
much.
so I have to wear, and I can't find a good sports bra,
Mm.
Yeah.
and that's like a whole thing,
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially the older I get, it's like,
Right.
Lord.
right?
Seriously.
I was putting on my sports bra over my nightgown because I was just going down in the morning and jumping.
Yeah.
It is supposed to be good for your adrenals,
Mhm.
right? So I think I'll try tomorrow morning. See how my foot feels on that.
How long would you do on the trampoline?
A half an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
listen
so.
to a podcast or I usually listen to a podcast.
So you could do one of your online classes while you're jumping.
I
There you go. You
could,
could
yeah.
twofer.
Yep.
Is this a big backyard trampoline we're
No,
talking about, or
it's-
like a mini trampoline?
It's a mini.
Okay.
It's a little bit bigger than the mini.
Okay.
It's a medium.
Medium.
Yeah.
There you go.
You
Yeah.
put it in the basement?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep, and it has like a handle so I can
Yeah.
hold on if I need to, and then when you get really into, then you can start doing jumping jacks, and you
Oh.
can do the knees. Meredith, you should get one.
It's not my vibe
Why?
because I had 3 kids back to back.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Noted. Yeah, so I'll report back. I'll do that tomorrow morning.
I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you doing for workouts these days, Liz?
So I'm back to running. I have another race in October.
Nice.
So I'm just
What are you
getting
doing?
in shape. So I do Ragnar races, which are overnight running relays. So you get a team.
Did you
of-
hear this? Overnight. It is the coolest thing ever.
I
I
just-
always wanted to do
I
one.
just
I've
broke
never
out
done
into
one.
a sweat when you said that.
I know. And worse, like this was our idea of girls' weekends. So we started this about 10-ish years ago when people, a bunch of college friends and I were sort of starting to turn 40. And a friend told me about it. And I was like, that sounds terrible. But if I were going to do it, you would be the person
I would do it with.
I would do it with.
Right.
Exactly. So this has become our thing that every year we do 1 or 2 of these races.
So can you please go into detail?
Yes. Okay. So you have a team of 12 people and you divide them up into 2 vans, 6 in each van. And everyone is going to run 3 times. And you know ahead of time what it is. So you would know you're running like 3.4 miles, then 5.7, then 2.5 or something. So it's not a surprise.
Right.
I know. Well, so this is something I found with runners. There's a real divide here because if whatever I just said, there are 3-ish, 5-ish, 2-ish,
Right.
like let's just call it 10. If you said, Liz, go run 10 miles, I would be like, see ya, right? Like that's just not my cup of tea. But if it's like run 3, you take a break, run 5, you take a break, run 2, like that's fine with me. Whereas there are other people, they would say like, what do you mean I have to run again?
Gotcha.
So you get like about 6 hours in between your legs, but it's literally a handoff. Like I would run the first leg and you would be waiting for me at the next one. And I would literally hand you a slap bracelet. Go, Stephanie.
At
right?
2 a.m.
Well, yeah, it does happen overnight, right? And then you run and you hand it off to Meredith, right? And so you do that like 3 times through with your team of 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where do these take place?
All over the country. In fact, there is a newish version called Ragnar New England, which runs right through Easton, like right on the road that separates Meredith's house from my house.
Yeah.
Which is a little insane that it's in our backyard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you doing that one?
I've done that one.
Yeah.
Yes. So of course I had to pick the leg that ran
Of course.
by my house. Yeah. Running at night seems really scary until you do it. And then you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
What about the coyotes?
We do this all over the country because our group of friends is all over the country. And so we have had our share of what about the fill in the blank local wildlife. We had started in California, so we're like mountain lions.
Yeah.
Right.
Has not been an issue. You know, and you can always run with some kind of alarm like you would for any kind of sort of safety alarm you would have on your keychain. But you're never the only one on the course. Sometimes depending on where you are in relation to other teams, you may only see like one light far ahead because you have to wear lights at night. So you kind of see there's a runner up there. And a lot of times also the course where the vans go, because, you know, while I'm running, the van's got to get you to the next spot. Sometimes you'll see the vans there. So
you're not completely alone.
You're not completely alone.
Reach the beach. Have you done that one?
I haven't done that one, but that's the same idea.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
So that there's a Reach the Beach in New Hampshire, and they come from Cannon Mountain. Is that it?
Bretton Woods, I think.
Bretton Woods.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they run all the way out to the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty neat. It's not really Steph's vibe.
Yeah, I mean, other people would be like, I could think of other ways to spend a girl's weekend and get together with friends I don't see.
When I was in shape, you know, I was at the gym 7 days a week. I cycled. I did the Pan Mass from Boston. Where were we? Boston to where?
Providence?
Yeah,
Provincetown?
I forget where we
Provincetown.
started.
Yeah, I think it goes out to the
I
Cape.
did that. You know, I was really in shape and I loved working out until I hit 45. Some weird things started happening.
We keep coming back to that part of the phase for us
So
of
true.
what happens
like,
with your body.
Right.
But
It was.
I will say for these races, like, it's just good to have friends who are better and faster runners than you.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you run your own pace.
right.
I'm probably not going to do one, but it sounds fascinating.
It is fun. It is like the Pan Mass Challenge,
Yeah.
right? You're out there and you're like, all of us are kind of crazy. So this
Right.
is kind of
Yeah.
fun, right?
Right.
And we're cheering you on. We're like, better you than me. That's great. Go you.
Yes.
Right.
You know, that's that kind of fun experience.
Right. That's
Yeah.
great.
I'm glad that
I
you're
love
back
that.
running.
I am.
Yeah. It's
Slow,
nice.
but back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're
Yeah.
still going.
It's still
My
going.
last race was Falmouth 2019. It's been a while.
Yeah, you can't run anymore.
No, I think my running days are over.
Well, you could go back to skiing.
Well, you could. No, she can't ski either.
I think
You
that's
can
what did my knee in.
You can swim and you can. What else did you tell me?
Bike.
You can bike.
We
and
can
swim.
hike.
I did buy a bike in 2020 and said, I'm going to become a cyclist. I think we walked one day and I might have told you that.
Oh.
And I have not. I've taken it out once.
Oh,
My kids ride it up to Target.
oh.
Mm.
Yeah. I get nervous I'm going to get clipped.
I know. Oh my God, my cousin Rob Carver. He's a professor. He was a professor at Stonehill Business.
Oh, yeah.
He got clipped,
Yeah. It's a real thing.
and he
Oh,
was in the
yeah.
hospital for days
Yeah.
at the Brigham.
Yeah.
He is so lucky he's alive.
Oh, yeah. I mean, So if we're talking about road biking, I mean, I will ride my bike on the road at 6 a.m, preferably on a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you cycle. You used to go to the gym.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
But you're right. We had a 6 a.m. class.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is, I grew up in Pittsburgh and I grew up in a city. So the culture and dynamics and norms about some roads in Easton, like it's not what I feel is comfortable or safe. Like people who like to walk on Bay Road or Massapog, I'm like, look, this road is barely big enough for 2 cars. Like, it's not a good idea for pedestrians to be on that. So when I think about road biking, which I never did growing up, it's more of an adult thing. It's the same thing. Like, I will go when I think the chance of cars being there is really, really low.
I did Bay Road. I did a stretch once in my life, and it was, I thought for sure I was going to get hit. It was absolutely treacherous.
Scary.
Yeah.
And if you have your shoes clipped in, it's
Right.
scary.
Yeah.
You have to, twist your foot to get out.
Yep.
Oh,
So it's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
thought
Although
about that.
I have to say, I think mountain biking is scarier.
Oh yeah, they're
Oh,
crazy.
I've been
They
thrown.
they go with like knives and they're cutting down branches as they're driving, and they've got mud flying.
Plus,
up in
you
their
get thrown
face.
over your handlebars regularly.
Yeah, I would not say I've even approached the speed or terrain where that would be a danger to me. But I
Right.
mostly look at it. I'm like, why would you take a bike over
know.
those rocks?
My ex does that. He loves it.
Does he still mountain bike?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those mountain bikers, they're
Yeah.
addicted. It's like
Yeah.
runners.
Yeah.
They can't they love the thrill and whatever else comes along with
Yeah.
it, which I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but it's just not my jam. I got thrown too many times and it's like, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be okay with that.
Right. Maybe we should stick to pickleball,
We should go
It
back.
does
to
come
pickleball.
back to pickleball.
which we only took the beginners class and then we never, and Meredith only came. Meredith's like, we need to sign up for pickleball. I said, fine. And then Meredith's like, I can't come today. I'm busy. I have a listing appointment. I'm like, what? Fine.
Yeah, I think we had 5 classes. We went to
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
But we can pick it up
We
at
had
any
fun.
time.
We can pick it up
It's all
anytime.
about
Kids
where
love
your
it.
expectations are.
Yeah.
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 If you just want to like get out, laugh, and
Right.
hit a ball that makes a
Yeah.
satisfying sound,
Right.
then
Yeah. And lift weights.
I kind
That's
of
what I
like
need
playing
to do.
ping pong.
Lift
I
weights.
need to lift weights.
Mm.
Absolutely. I need to get my strength. So my father's 94 and a half,
wow.
and he's just been through some incredible trying times the past couple of weeks. But he, because he had such good physical strength, he's able to get through this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's always every day.
every single day, his whole life, he's been exercising. And he said, before you get out of bed, you should do the bicycle in bed. And he always did it before he got out of bed. And he swam every day, played tennis,
Well,
and went for walks.
Yeah. He still moves.
Oh yeah, he's supposed to use a walker, but he forgets. And he was just at assisted living. He was just up dancing,
It's fantastic.
twirling around. 94 and a half.
I think we can all see with our age and our parents' age the
Yeah.
difference it makes when you have some base level of activity.
It really
Yes.
does. And I
Yeah.
know this. That's why I really need to get my strength back.
It goes fast. If you take a
It
break,
comes back
Yeah.
fast.
it comes back fast. No, it goes
away
fast.
fast.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
walking up the stairs here to come to ECAT. I'm like,
I think you can blame that on the humidity.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Plus, my bag's a little heavy. I blame it on my bag too.
Yeah.
It's like walking up the stairs with weights.
You
But
might be dehydrated too.
oh, you're right.
The
There
weight
you go.
training is everything, in my
Mm.
opinion. I mean, it's,
Right. We're supposed to be doing that at our age.
yeah.
Well, there are a lot of ways you can do it.
There's so many things. Really, yoga.
Mm-hmm.
I should be doing yoga every day. And I want to go to those stretch classes too, that you can go to these stretch places. Oh, I need a good stretch.
I think there's one in Mansfield.
I think
I know
there
there's a
is.
yoga studio in Mansfield.
Yeah. I think
Probably
the
more
stretch
than
place
one.
is a new stretch place.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
these,
about the stretch.
Yeah, it's these. That's all they do is stretch you for like 20 minutes or a half an hour.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I would do that.
The weight training too, though, you got to get into a routine.
Right,
You got to find your place.
Right.
It's got to be consistent.
right.
And I found that's why Evolution is a great model for me, because they just tell me what to do.
Oh
All
my
I have to do
gosh.
is get there.
There's
That's it.
so much about my life that is on that model. Like, that's why I do a CSA at Thingwater. Like, if
yeah.
I were to go to a farmer's market,
Right.
should I buy that? Maybe.
Yes.
How many? I would rather show up and say, like, here are your vegetables. Good luck. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same
So
thing with
true.
exercising. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to
Right.
have to decide to run,
Yeah.
when to run,
Right.
how far am I going to run? Like,
Yes.
I just
Right.
want to know,
Yes.
wake up.
Where are you
Yes.
going? How far are you
Yes.
running?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that. That's how I am too.
It's great.
It just makes life so much easier.
And the thing is about going to an early morning class.
Yeah.
Really, my only challenge is the night before. Like, okay, Keach, you got to get up in the morning.
Right.
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 And once I've committed, I'm there, and my brain is still frozen. When I walk in the door, like the synapses are not firing,
Right.
so they can tell me basically to do anything, and you just go do it.
Right.
And by the time your brain warms up and you're going, obviously I could be very chatty. We're more than halfway through.
Right.
Whereas if I were to go to like 11 o'clock in the morning class,
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
late.
painful
Right.
too, because you know everything going on.
Unless
in the
it's
morning.
unless it's the Pilates on the machines.
Mm.
I love that.
I've
too.
never tried
That
it.
feels so good.
It looks
You
painful.
should. It's not. They have different levels. So you start out on the beginning level.
They look like medieval torture devices to
Oh
me.
my
I agree
God.
with you on that.
It feels so good.
But that's what everyone should be saying about whatever they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
That it
Whatever it
feels
is, you're
so
like,
good.
I like it. I look forward to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I know it's probably good for me.
I'm just so bad with the classes, like the schedule.
Well, and that's the thing too. So that model, like when I would go to a gym, let's say there's one up the road from us, and you look at all the ones you could pick. Too many choices for me.
Right.
And I just need to know, like what we have again, the evolution model is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 a.m. I just have to show up. Most Mondays I don't get there, but once I'm committed, Wednesday, Fridays, I typically go, and that's it. And it's basically the same thing, but they rotate the routine. So I don't have to think about, do I want to jump today? Do I want to do coordinated movements or weights? Again, too much thought.
Right.
You got to take the thinking out of it.
Yes.
I do miss the good old step classes.
Yeah.
For the music. I love that. I miss that.
I'm never great at a choreographed.
I was so
exercise.
good. I would stand in the front. I'd wear a crop top because I had a 6-pack
Yeah.
and I loved it.
But
Those
you had
classes
people
still
too.
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I have a gym near me. Maybe I'll pop in again and see what that's about.
Maybe you should lead the class.
You could do a trampoline class.
You could do the, how to adapt when you have plantar fasciitis.
Brilliant.
When, parts of your body
See?
don't move the way.
Right.
Liz is
They
so
used
smart.
to.
Exactly
Right.
how to adapt.
Right.
Yeah.
What do
You'd
you guys
probably be
have-
surprised.
What
by
do you
how
guys
many
have for
people-
trips coming up?
Oh my God. I've spent all summer traveling and I have all fall
Where have you been?
traveling. Where have I been? There's a song about that.
Where hasn't she been is more the question,
I
Meredith.
started the summer in New Orleans.
Ooh.
Went to the Hamptons over 4th of July.
Ooh la la.
Went to visit my mom in Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
Went to Park City. Went to
So
DC. And then just got back from Scotland and Iceland.
Scotland and Iceland.
I know.
Liz, was that amazing?
It was amazing. It was one of the things that was amazing to me was walking around and thinking to myself, so if this is summer,
Right.
what might winter be like in
Oh,
these
right.
places? Because I mean, it was not warm at all.
40s?
50s, but I
Okay.
mean, I was in layers
Yeah.
and a raincoat
Yeah.
pretty much every day.
Right. Drizzly and
Yeah. Yeah.
No, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. It it was amazing. But yeah, if you need like sun and warm and beach, you're not
Yeah.
going to either of those
Yeah.
places.
Yeah. So were you just touring?
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly. So
Do you play golf?
no. And in fact, I had a friend who was like, are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? And I was like, no, that is your version of Scotland.
Right.
Like, we are not drinking, playing golf, raving at an Icelandic nightclub. Like, none of that. So ours was a
What
little,
did you do?
we were a little more nature-based. So I saw puffins, like the birds
yay.
in Iceland. So that was
Yeah.
so exciting. They're these like cliff dwelling.
Yeah.
Honestly, they look like penguin bodies with, the big orange toucan
Yes,
beak
I know
type of
exactly
things.
what you're talking about.
And they fly like penguins. They look like these fat
Wow.
torpedo type things.
No way.
So that was amazing. That was definitely worth
awesome.
the drive to see
Yeah.
them.
Glaciers?
We did not get to the glaciers, but you can, you're driving all around them and you can see them
Yeah.
from far away.
Any of the hot springs?
We did. Yeah.
Nice.
So that was, again, it's cold.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So picture it being like very windy, both places super windy, 50-ish degrees.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to get in my bathing suit
Right.
right now and I'm going to go walk outside. Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
that's a little,
Yeah. Shocking.
yeah, it takes a mindset shift
Yep.
to be like, I'm just going to make it to water to get in.
And green and lush?
Yes, certainly in Scotland. Iceland, yes, and probably because it was summer,
Yeah.
a little less barren.
How are the people?
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely in both places. So
What do they speak in Iceland?
they do speak Icelandic, but
Okay.
they also speak a lot of English. And Icelandic, I would say, was challenging. I think it's closely related to Scandinavian languages.
Oh, okay.
But so for anyone who has an English or Romance language background, you're not going to find anything familiar to help you figure out
right.
words. And all the words are, 12 to 18 letters long. So
Right.
Thank God for Google
English.
Translator.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, there was a lot of English.
Yeah.
Does everyone speak English? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Scotland too?
Yeah, I mean, so Scotland is English. There's probably like a Gaelic
Oh, right. Undertone?
undertone going
right,
on, but
yeah.
everyone's speaking English. Sometimes it's just the accent where if
Yeah.
someone's speaking, you're like,
Right.
Could you say that slowly?
Did you find the men handsome because of their Scottish accents?
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
They were ugly.
Well, I will also say that our particular itinerary seemed to align with like retiree tour bus paths. So
You weren't interacting with
Right.
hot
Wow.
Scottish men.
No, not so much.
All right. What's on the docket for the fall?
The fall. So I have my race, which is in Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky.
Yep.
Never been.
More. Another visit to my mom. My son will go college touring, which I may or may not join in on.
Nice.
And then we're going to go skiing over New Year's.
Oh, yeah. What did you decide?
Did decide to go out west, probably back to Park City.
Nice.
So, yeah,
that's fun.
it'll be good.
So fun.
So
Beautiful.
I am the most enthusiastic skier in our family.
Okay.
Not that the rest of my family doesn't like it, but no one else is going to say, can we? We should.
Right.
No.
Right.
So,
Will you ski at Park City?
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
A cool town.
yes. So I want them to experience skiing out west.
It seems a lot like the mountain towns in Colorado, too. To me, it did anyway.
Yeah.
Little different feel,
Mm-hmm.
but beautiful.
Lovely. Yeah. I mean, I have to say, we did a lot of hiking when we were in Park City in the summer. And while we're talking about our bodies changing and possibly breaking down in unexpected ways, I'm
Yeah.
like, I see hiking being in my future.
Yeah.
Right. I was like,
Yeah.
when I'm ready to give up running, which might be soon.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, I will just hike, and totally a fan of trading altitude for humidity. I'm like, I'll do it. I'll do the steep ascent.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I found too, snowshoeing on the mountain was pretty awesome.
wow, that would be.
That's hard.
Not particularly, because
It
when
isn't?
you're walking, like it's not like I have to run up the mountain. You just take your own pace. I did it a bunch at Loon. I don't know if they charge for it now, but I used to just, when I was done with ski racing, I was just kind of done. I didn't, I needed something different. And so I would take my snowshoes and just go up the mountain that way. And sure, you get some incline, but I wasn't doing it to like.
I think you should do it in your backyard and make a reel.
Well, I try, but we don't get the snow.
I know.
That's
Maybe this
frustrating.
year.
Yeah.
Maybe this year.
It's so few and
Not
far
that I want
between.
it.
We'd have like Marty will put an email out or whatever and say it's supposed to snow, wants to go snowshoeing, and it's like once in a blue moon. You just
Yeah.
don't get it anymore.
That is frustrating.
Yeah.
But the good thing about the snowshoes, the reason why I use snowshoes to go up the mountain is they have little crampons on them.
Mm.
The running ones are way better to do that type of, terrain.
There's running
but-
snowshoes.
Yeah, they're because the ones I have are this big.
They
They're
look like a tennis racket.
They're
Yes.
kind of, yeah, but they're built to disperse your weight so that you don't sink in the snow.
Okay.
And then they have this little crampon piece on it. So the running ones are really just made for like not deep snow by any stretch. I don't really need to be going in deep snow. at this point.
You would have to travel far.
Yeah, like where are you going?
Well, you're going to Iceland in the winter,
Yeah.
I think, for that.
Yeah.
What are they? So Iceland's up like by northern Maine. Is that the parallel that they're on?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I was watching the map a lot on the flights to and from. So what you do is you hug up the coast of the continental U.S. You're going past Maine. You're going past Nova Scotia. Greenland is not that far from like Prince Edward Island.
Okay.
And then you hit Iceland. So you just kind of do this nice like arc to the northeast.
Now, I never hear of anyone going to Greenland.
Correct.
Does anybody live there?
Probably, but not as a place you would visit.
It's like Arctic tundra.
Yes.
Oh. So it's probably like the western part of Alaska.
That could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough place
Once
to live.
again,
Yeah.
no, thank you.
See, isn't that good to know, though? I mean, these are the types of conversations I have with my students, because I'm also a pre-law advisor, and you're talking to 18 and 22-year-olds. I'm like, your job at this stage in your life is to try things and know what you can cross off your list.
Yes.
Correct.
Right.
So
So,
true.
Stephanie's like, great, this is
Right.
useful information. No, moving on.
So far, nothing you've said today is on my list.
Right. Which is so good. You don't have to waste time trying and exploring it.
Correct.
You're like, moving on.
Well, what do you got? What do you got coming up?
We have Mexico.
We have Mexico.
Yeah.
Stephanie and I have a work trip to Mexico.
Yeah.
Which is,
Nice.
work.
Right. Work,
It's
parentheses.
an
What
awards
else do
trip.
I have coming up?
I don't know.
I don't know. I had a
guys
busy
usually have
summer.
stuff. Are you going to do Patriots again?
Yeah. Our Patriots games?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You guys usually hit one up in like Miami, though.
I have a couple of weddings. My son's getting married next month.
Congratulations.
So exciting.
Thank you.
That is a lot of work.
Thank you. Well, I'm the groom's mother.
But still,
So, and I hired a wedding coordinator.
that's different.
So
Yes.
that was, she just sent 3 pages yesterday, the itinerary.
I begged
I'm like,
Stephanie
wow.
to do this.
Yeah.
I begged her.
Yeah, thank God. I'm like, Meredith, this is easy. We're having it at a barn in Topsfield
Mm-hmm.
where we've already hired the caterer. I don't need anyone. Oh, boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
so
Yeah.
she sent the 3-page itinerary yesterday, and everything was like, it was perfect because, 8 a.m., getting my makeup
Yes.
done and my
Yes.
hair done.
Yes.
When they're signing of the ketubah, my daughter-in-law to be converted.
Oh,
Can you
interesting.
believe that?
I'm hearing more of that.
I never said a word.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Apparently, my son did. He went to overnight Jewish camp. Very Jewy, my Greggy.
Mm.
So, yeah, she converted. So she had to take her courses,
Uh-huh.
and then she had to have an interview with a rabbi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like citizenship for the U.S., right?
Yeah.
Anyone who goes through that process is automatically more knowledgeable than people who
Right.
are just
Oh, absolutely.
given that by birth.
Absolutely.
So,
So,
yeah.
it was so, wonderful. I wish my mother was here to see it. But
Mm.
I said, Olivia, the only proper way to celebrate this is for you to come out for Chinese food.
That's exactly what I was
So
thinking you were going to
immediately
say.
we went to our favorite Chinese restaurant, Gourmet Garden. And I got her a little Jewish star, a little diamond
Oh,
Jewish
nice.
star from Hefez Jewelers in Sharon, my favorite jewelers.
Uh-huh.
And I got her an everything bagel purse with rhinestones on it and socks that say, I'm a good Jewish girl. She loved all of her gifts.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that so cute?
Who's marrying them?
Dr. Rabbi Oksana. Now, Rabbi Oksana was, she's like the Weinstein rabbi. Unfortunately, she's only done the deaths. So
Oh.
she was so happy to be able to do a wedding. She goes, oh, finally, a happy occasion for the Weinsteins.
Oh, my gosh.
So the kids interviewed her, make sure
Mhm.
they connected with her, and she's
Yeah.
so lovely.
So they'll do it where the barn is. They'll do a chuppah.
Yep. So Olivia's dad is making the chuppah. It's
That's
a 7-foot
really impressive,
chuppah.
Meredith. Way to
Oh, well.
pull that one
I
out.
know, right?
Yeah.
And, well, Mara's husband is like 6% Jewish.
11, actually.
Yeah. Oh, 11.
Sean-
Yeah.
Sean Patrick Hennessy.
Right. So
I
now,
would have guessed that. That sounds very in
Right.
keeping with Easton.
right. So now Meredith kind of fancies herself as kind of Jewish, but
Worldly.
yeah. So we
Global.
have the chuppah, we have the ketubah.
Mhm.
So I ordered a big ketubah, and we talked to the rabbi what needs to be on it. So it's very exciting.
That's really
it's so
exciting.
And Olivia's so cute. Her first look is going to be with her dad.
Mm.
So I think that is so cute. And so we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a small wedding,
Very
family
intimate.
only. Yep.
Very
Great.
intimate.
Yep, family only. I'm thrilled. I can't wait. So we have that. And I have another wedding. My 2 girlfriends are getting married at the Boston Harbor Hotel.
Ooh.
So that's a couple weeks
amazing.
before Gregory's.
Madison's coming up too, though. Isn't
Madison's is next year.
It? Oh, I thought
Yeah.
it was this year.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. And then
All
I
right.
had a wedding last weekend in Vermont.
Wow.
Which was, I know, well, it's, my kids are
Of the age.
exactly. So, so then my niece is getting married next year.
Where
but-
was the one in Vermont? You said it was amazing.
Oh my God. It was at the Equinox. It's a country club.
Where?
And it was in Vermont.
Where?
I don't know.
Stowe?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was in Vermont somewhere.
Okay, got it.
But it was lovely. It was a little hot. I was sweating. And I had the plantar fasciitis. I did change into my sneakers because I was in a long gown.
Okay.
But it's hard to, my boyfriend and I like to dance, and he twirls me around, and it's hard to dance in sneakers.
That's
Yeah,
true.
right.
You can't
So
turn
true.
and pivot. The
It's
way you
really
do.
hard.
Yeah.
I will say some young girl came up to us and said, "You two are the best dancers of the night."
Oh.
I'm like, "Thanks, hon."
Maybe you could get a dancing shoe.
Maybe. Oh, I do have dancing shoes. They're in my closet.
There you go.
'Cause I begged Anthony to buy me dance lessons for my birthday last year.
Have you guys done them?
No,
Oh.
no. Now I will be wearing my dance shoes to the office tomorrow.
Yeah, you should.
Because they
All
look
right.
really comfortable.
Yeah, what were you? Are you set to go for Gregory's wedding for your outfit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I have my second fitting of my dress on Thursday.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, but again, it's so easy to be the groom mother because I'm staying out of it,
Fantastic.
right?
Yeah.
Whatever the bride wants.
Yeah.
And she's is just sweet as pie.
Yeah.
And then they're going 2 weeks to Thailand.
Ooh,
They're going to swim
that
with
sounds
elephants.
fantastic.
Yep. So they've already booked their entire trip.
Yeah.
They're not going in September because it's monsoon season.
Oh,
So they're going to
Sounds
go in
smart.
January. Yep.
Okay.
So they're going to go for 10 days, 14 days, whatever
you
they're going
swim
for.
with elephants?
Yes, I heard it's fabulous because the wedding I went to in Vermont, I was talking to this young girl and she said it was the coolest thing she's ever done.
Wow.
Yeah. So cool. So,
Wow.
yeah, so all that's coming up
That's a long flight.
to Thailand. Oh, well, meanwhile, this other Jewish mother was telling me, she goes, my son-in-law and daughter went and blah, 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 blah. To make a long story short, and I won't go into details, he was on the toilet. And to make a long story short, there may or may not have been a tapeworm.
Oh, yeah.
And there was pulling.
Oh.
And then, bleh. So I immediately texted my kids and I'm like, you will eat nothing raw in Thailand.
Well, I mean, it's third world, isn't it?
That's a good question. I don't know what the characterizations are. I think like many countries that have a lot of tourism, there's a big difference between different parts of the country. You know, just like when people say when you go to India that you shouldn't be eating street food until you've gotten
Yes, I
used to
just heard
everything
this.
over there. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just having this conversation.
Yeah. So it might depend on what you're eating where in the country.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but they traced back. She went through all her pictures and she's like, there was one and high-end restaurant they went to that they ate something raw.
Yeah.
And they're tracking it back to that.
Mm.
But this other girl that went swimming with the elephants, she said she ate tons of raw food in Thailand and she was fine.
So naive because thank God I haven't had a parasite or tapeworm
Oh.
of the. So they only exist in raw food. You guys, where?
Don't
I
know.
don't know.
I would imagine because the cooking process in general tends to kill most things.
Yeah.
I
But-
can't even think about it. It freaks me out beyond.
Well, the longest flight I've ever been on was to New Zealand, and that was
It is long. I mean, Thailand's not going to be
Wow.
different than New Zealand.
probably the same. Right?
Yeah. I
24
mean, like New Zealand.
24 hours of flying.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Gregory
yeah.
can't do that.
Well, you're not going to do it nonstop, right? So if you go to New Zealand, like you got to get to, now you can go from Dallas, but otherwise you had to go
Yeah.
from California.
Yeah, like
So
LA.
that's,
Yeah.
6-ish hours, whatever. But it's 12 hours once you're in California.
Yeah.
So not
24 hours of travel time.
Yeah.
But it was no different to go to Alaska.
A
It was 24
12-hour
hours to
flight.
try.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh
it's
my!
it's
I
terrible.
don't think I could do it. I can barely do 6.
Well, I will tell you.
My knees hurt.
Yeah. I mean, from a flight attendant's perspective, so we were in New Zealand about a year and a half ago because we had lived there for a year. So we go back periodically to visit. And we flew from Dallas this time. So it was the longer flight. It was like 14 or 15 hours. And they truly were like, hi,
Yeah.
good night. We'll wake you up later. Like, we don't want anything to do
Yeah.
with you. Not that they don't want anything
Right.
to do with us, but like,
Yeah.
go to bed, dear passengers. Don't cause too much trouble.
Yeah.
We'll feed you every now and
Yeah.
then.
Right.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you can sleep on a plane,
I
that
think I
will
would have to take
help.
a pill, and I'm not a pill person.
Well, melatonin, I took a melatonin just to relax. I think melatonin, yeah, must have been just to relax. I don't think I'd take a melatonin now, but it's just a lot.
I would have to
it's a
get
lot.
I would have to get a sweatshirt with a hood,
oh yeah,
the eye mask,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right, the earphones.
you would not be the
Pillow.
only one.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fuzzy socks, the
Mhm.
sweatpants,
Yeah.
blanket.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, this is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I'm not a good, like, what's the time difference too?
Oh,
That-
so that's the other.
a
that
challenge.
throws
Yeah.
me, right?
Yeah.
I went to California years ago. It took by day 3 when we were leaving, I was finally feeling better.
Yeah.
I am so sensitive.
I am too. But New Zealand, it puts you in, is it
Another day?
You like
You're-
lose a day one direction
Yes.
and gain a day
a
the
day,
other direction.
a full day.
Yeah. So when you travel over there, you lose a day in the travel because it's like the morning of 2 days later.
I can't.
I know.
You
You get
know
it all
what?
back. on the
Now,
way
I'm
back.
crossing
And so
that
the
off my
people
list
who
too.
just go for like a 7-day vacation, it's baffling to me. Sam did that in Hawaii, and I was
That
like,
is
and she came
for
back.
the young.
This was a rookie mistake. She came,
Didn't
I'm
she have an
sorry.
open house?
Oh dear.
Sam was in her 20s. She was like,
Sounds like
I'm going to come back and go. And we were like, what? And I was like, just zip it because she's going to fight us on it.
Right.
And she came back and she was like, I don't know why I did this. And we are like, well, because you just have to do it once.
Right. Didn't you cover for her or did she end up doing
She
it?
did it. She
oh,
did it.
God.
It was for her best friend. And she was like, I
Oh.
have to be there for it. I'm like, I don't know why you booked it this weekend. You
Right.
could have picked next. But she did it. She was
that's
a trooper.
like the basic parenting, like learning by natural consequences.
Yes.
We're like, all right, I'll let you go do that. I see the train wreck, but I'll
Right.
let you experience
Right,
it.
but go ahead, you
and
do
I said
you.
to Jess, I was like, we're just going to be there to support
Right,
her. And if
right.
she needs us to rescue, we'll be there. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Wow.
It's funny. When I was young, I wanted to travel for work. So I went into teaching thinking I could travel teaching. I don't know why I thought that. Again, I was 25 and
Well, they could
thinking-
plop you to teach English
Yeah,
in
go
another
teach
country.
English.
which I
for
did. And
students
I
and-
taught in Alaska, but I wanted to travel.
Oh.
I should have gone into sales, right?
Oh, right.
That was just, again, one of the many things that, we learn in life. But at this point, I'm like, God, I look at my friends who travel for work and think, it doesn't seem that fun.
Oh no, but right when you're in college and
Yeah.
Right.
you have friends who are like, I'm going to be a consultant.
Yes.
And you're like, wow,
Yes.
Right.
you're going to visit all those cities. Like,
Yes.
that's so exciting.
Yes.
And you're also thinking, 2 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Right.
You're committing to something for 2 years,
Right.
you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you talk to them after a few years and they're like, no, I've only seen the inside of offices there and
Exactly,
planes. And then I have to get back on the plane again. And I'm like, well, aren't the points worth it? They're like, no.
Right.
Yeah.
No. I'm trying to remember. My domestic partner traveled. How many countries? He traveled an enormous amount of countries in just a few short days with a backpack. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
for work. He works
Tony?
For, yeah.
Well,
I've been
he's
calling
traveled
him,
a lot.
I've been calling him my domestic partner.
I love it.
Because what are you supposed to say? My boyfriend?
Yeah.
Right,
I'm 57.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I don't know what to call him anymore. If you
Yeah.
can think of something, Liz, let me know.
No, usually you just like use the name
Yeah.
and people infer
Yeah.
that this is a special and permanent
Right.
person
Yeah.
in your
Right.
life.
Yeah.
My lifetime partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a mindset to traveling too. So
Yes.
for instance, the Puffins, my daughter had said, oh, there are these black sand beaches. We should go to them. And I'm looking, I was like, that's like a 3-hour drive. She's like, what else are we going to do?
Yeah.
I'm like, good
Right.
point.
Yeah.
Which, if you map it onto life here, like, would I drive up past Portland for
Right.
the day to like see something interesting and drive home?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
that's also what lets you do a lot of traveling. You're
Right.
like, sure, I'm going to like start in Scotland and end in France and go
Right.
through the UK in between. And, we'll do Bavaria and, stuff tomorrow. Right. Like
Yes.
that's, whereas if you said that in the US, you're like, well, what if we end up in Pittsburgh tomorrow? You're like,
Right.
that's a lot of work and
Right.
traveling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Work.
Traveling in
Yeah.
general is just a lot. I was just, talking to Meredith yesterday. I just had to fly to Florida for the weekend to go see my dad, and it's just a lot.
It is.
And coming home, I had to wake up at 3 a.m.
Oh.
I had my luggage, I had my rental car that I had to return, then hop on a bus, then go through
Yep.
security. Then it's just a whole to do. Then lift my suitcase, which was so heavy. I don't know how I did it above my head. I was like a wreck about it.
Yeah.
Tony's like, just ask somebody, they'll help you.
Yeah.
And it's a lot.
Well,
Well.
unless you fly out of Providence.
Oh,
Right.
I can't get
So
to any of the
dreamy.
places I want to go out
Either.
of Providence.
Once
I
in a
want to
blue
fly
moon.
out of Providence.
So
Right.
Yeah.
dreamy going in and
Yeah.
out of there.
Well, this is also like know thyself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Too much, too far, too early, too late.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, it's fine getting up at 3 a.m. I wake up at 3 a.m. anyway. Right. I'm just like, bing.
But it's a game changer when you have to get up at 3 a.m. to fly. Your next day is like
I was
how I feel
toast.
right now because I didn't
Yep.
sleep last night.
I was toast on Monday because I was home by 9 a.m. from Florida. I'm like, okay. So I couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
But I had so much work to do.
Yeah.
But the great thing is I just worked from my phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I was texting and
Check things
emailing
off.
and
Yeah.
it was so great. But
Yeah.
I was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to go to Topsfield that night for a final walkthrough. And I couldn't do it. So
Yeah.
Jason's like, do you want me to drive? I said, how long is it going to take? He said, 2 hours. I said, I am not. After traveling, I can't.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool though to then travel with your friends who travel for business because they then travel basically with a lunchbox. And that's it.
I can't.
And they still look great and
Right.
refreshed and they don't labor over
what to wear. I have yet to say I packed beautifully for this trip. I have yet to ever say that. You're a good packer.
I'm a good packer.
I am the worst. I bring everything, every wrong outfit. I forget stuff.
I actually get angry with myself when I have clothes that are left over. That
Right. Meredith gets pissed.
like I had one shirt.
She's like,
one
I
shorts,
didn't wear that pair of socks. I will never do that again.
I can relate to that.
I
Yeah.
just want to get one of those outfits that's all mix and match.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? The
Yeah.
pants go with the tank
Yeah.
top, go with the shirt,
Yeah.
go with the this.
Which is made of some kind of material
that
fits
doesn't
in
wrinkle.
a lunchbox.
Right.
Yeah.
That you
it
can
doesn't
roll up in a
wrinkle.
ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. My
Exactly.
luggage is always heavy. Thank
Yeah.
God I am a mosaic on JetBlue because you get to have up to 70 pounds for your luggage.
Oh, good.
Like, it's
Well, you know, I'm
ridiculous.
forgetting his name. He's the travel guy. I listened to him on the radio. Steve.
Rick Steves.
Rick Steves,
Yeah.
yeah. And he preaches about overpacking, that it
Oh.
just weighs you down.
Does.
And he'll say, basically, there's nowhere in the world you can't get what you need.
Yeah.
So Americans pack for what am I not going to have? Where instead of just packing, what are the essentials that I need? And if I
Right.
need to get it, I'll get it there.
Well, meanwhile, when we just went to Florida, Tony, he checked in a bag. I had my carry-on. His bag never came.
Oh,
He's like, excuse me. They look, they go, oh, your bag never left Boston. They gave him
Did he ever get his bag?
Yeah, he did. We had to go back to the airport that night and they gave him $75 in travel money. What's he supposed to do with travel money? What do you do with JetBlue travel money?
Yeah.
I mean, but kind of liberating. He's in Florida. Who cares?
Right. I mean, he could have bought
Go
anything.
get some underpants.
Well, the thing was, he was going on to Vegas. He's in
Okay.
Vegas now for work, so that's why he had to pack some more clothes. But yeah, they're like, oh yeah, it never left. How? Like you have one job.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, two. You got to get the human and the bag.
I mean, right. I said, you know what? I never saw her put the ticket on the bag. You gave her bag and she goes, all right, you're all set. But then he just turned around and walked away. So did I.
She got
Usually
distracted.
I watch when they put the tag on.
Yeah.
So, but
Oh.
whatever.
Yeah, human error.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But we're at the end.
Oh my God. I feel like I could talk for another hour.
That's what I said about Liz. I was like, we don't have to worry about Liz
right.
chatting.
Now I
She's
feel
a
like
great
I have so many
communicator.
more questions. Can you come back on the show?
Sure.
Oh, good.
Okay.
But she's got a tough schedule now
Oh,
because she's a teacher.
oh, right.
I can make Wednesdays work.
Okay. Well, we can do other days too.
All right.
Yeah. Sometimes Adam says we can.
Flexible with notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flexible.
Perfect.
Provided that it's okay with Adam.
Adam is our boss.
Well, today's Wednesday, folks. Does not feel like a Wednesday to me. I, feel
I
like I'm
have
so
spent the
disoriented.
last several weeks saying what day is
Yeah.
today.
Yeah,
I'm
why
sure
is
with all
that?
traveling.
Yeah. Yeah, but some of it's vacation mindset,
Yeah.
right? And
Are
not
we in
doing
like
anything.
supermoon month too?
I don't even know
I
what's
feel like
going
I'm
on.
Maybe.
being tossed around in a
Yeah.
washing
Yeah.
machine lately.
Yeah. That's probably.
There's like 4
You're right.
supermoons and
Yeah.
2 full moons or something crazy this month.
Oh, we have 2 minutes.
All right. Well, it was great to see you.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, good
Great
to see you.
I feel like I haven't really seen you either.
Thanks, Liz. It was so nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Thanks for coming.
It was my pleasure.
And thanks for joining us.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Bye.